All right, that was good. That was good. I think we got the point across. The scaredy cat. Scaredy cat. All right, so this brings us, what are we? It's Monday, 10 o'clock. We are on our standard schedule here. We made it on time today.
For once.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, we're looking at episode 9.
9.
This is good. We almost hit the Big 10. I think we should celebrate at the Big 10.
Yeah.
The 5 most common objections to software. So this is a heated topic.
Very heated.
This is like one of those things that goes out there where you'll never really get an answer. There will never be like a final, like, this is the right answer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are really strong arguments on our side for software, but I'm sure people will still continue to try to negate that. So we're gonna address the 5 most common objections and give everyone the ability to kind of maybe open their mind or share some of this knowledge with people that you know, since a lot of the people that watch are users of our system, Pawfinity.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're watching and you currently use paper or, software, join in on the conversation.
Share the knowledge.
Yeah.
Share the knowledge. Yeah, come bring us some ideas to it. We're live now, 10 o'clock. This is Bill with Pawfinity.
And I'm Lauren.
And we're bringing you the Scratching the Surface podcast, episode 9. So let's kick it off. We're going to start from number 5 and get down to the first. So number 1 would be the most
common.
Yeah, the most popular objection, the easiest objection, I would say, for people to make that just don't really want to make the switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, I'm going to let you kick it off.
All right. So number 5, I'm the only one who can see my records.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that argument from that side. That's totally false. Number 1, your records being in paper are going to be wide open to everyone that's physically at your location or visits your mobile booth or visits if you're a trainer outside in a field somewhere and you have a booklet. It seems like people like to steal stuff. So my number one, my number one thing for this topic was that paper records could be easily stolen physically by someone.
Absolutely. Or they can be lost. I know I've lost. I have a appointment book just because I like to do it for personal appointments.
I think you've just negated our own topic of conversation
for
here.
For personal appointments, but I also use my cell phone too.
Where's that? Not that one. Hang on, folks.
But
I have a nasty one.
I have
there
lost it, and I have forgotten it, and then I don't put all my appointments into it. So it's kind of like my backup. I guess I don't access it every day.
We're going to move on past that. Disgruntled employees can just grab your notebook and literally run out the door. I'm not sure that there's an exact charge that they can be hit with on the legal side of things. I'm sure you could find something, but a customer or an employee could literally just grab your book and run out the door. And then, they could claim that they don't have it, that it's not in their possession, and all of your customer information is gone. All of your appointments are gone. And then they can go back through and call each one of them. And it'd be very difficult for the business to pose any sort of legal objection to what they're doing or whatever the phrase is. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but some sort of argument that says hey, look, they're using my clients, they stole my book, but it's so impossible to prove that. So, if you do lose those records, you're at a total loss for your business. You won't know anything about your clients, and you'll have no information about the customers.
Absolutely.
So the next one, the only one that can see your records. Now, this was an interesting one. If your software company is reviewing or using your data for any reason, you're using the wrong software company.
Yes.
And it's time to switch.
Absolutely. So we've had software companies, we won't mention the name, who have used their...
We will mention the code name. Let's Go Software is known to have a history of using the client information
to sign up for free trials for our software, and
I'm sure others. I'm sure others because their business model is to basically go around and steal everyone else's ideas. So, and that might be where people are saying, they don't want anybody else having access to their information, and that's true. You shouldn't. No, your software company should not be using your information. In my opinion, at all. But if they have some sort of an agreement with you guys, their privacy policy or something,
should state it.
If they're going to sell your information or use it for nefarious purposes, then at least let you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's not a standard policy, guys. So that argument is kind of moot. I don't want anybody else using, seeing my information. No one else should be seeing your information.
Absolutely.
Period.
It should still be yours.
Sure. Yeah. So we're going to jump down to number 4.
Slow internet or the internet goes out often. In rural areas, especially this one, I could see this being a legitimate argument. So if you have slow internet, be sure to use the fastest software possible. What does that mean? A software that's light on its processes, something that's not going to take forever to load.
It's not slow.
Yeah, it's not
it's
slow.
it's fast. You can't really elaborate on that one. Use a software that's not slow.
Yeah. A
Because
good performing software
right.
is what you want to end up with.
That makes a difference. And the reason it makes a difference is because the amount of data sending back and forth is lower in general, or the software is just written in a way that makes it more efficient. So you're using less bandwidth. And I don't want to get too technical because everybody's eyes will glaze over and you guys will start booing me. I think I have a boo button on here, but I'm not going to boo myself. The point is just that the faster the software, usually the better it's written and the less consumption of resources, in this case, bandwidth. So if you have a really slow internet and your software is really bloated, which I think like 80% of websites today are huge, and they don't load. I mean, so that's going to be a problem. So choose a software that's actually fast. I mean, these things are very straightforward.
Yeah.
The argument for paper is weak. If you guys want to challenge that, feel free to write in a comment about your argument for paper as we're talking about this, and we'll get after that one for you.
Absolutely.
Because you might have something that we haven't considered here. This is just the top 5, but I mean, use a fast software. And if your internet is constantly going out,
have a mobile carrier that is actually that
has good service. Yeah. So if you use Paul's cell service,
because it's only $9.99 a month
in South Dakota, you know what I mean? I mean, that's probably not going to do it. I mean, I'm not going to name drop any companies, but we see the advertisements on TV for the big ones out there that tout about how many towers they have and how much service they're getting.
Yeah.
If you use one of those, you can jump onto your software through your mobile device without any problem. So
absolutely, assuming that you have a software that doesn't need to sync to your computer. So you'll want to make sure you have a true cloud software.
Right. Well, a cloud software that's intended to be run on a phone, such as having an app, which we do at Pawfinity, or an extremely optimized system, and then you're done. So I mean, so the argument number 4, most popular, slow internet or it goes out. Switch from your laptop or desktop computer to your phone, and you're running.
Absolutely.
That's a pause. I just want to. So that argument has gone away. I don't see anything that anybody can say. The one argument that we do have here, sometimes we get people that wonder, I'm mobile and I go to places with no service. Again, it kind of loops back to the fact that you need to choose a better mobile provider. And it might not be the most popular one in your area. It might just be the one that actually happens to have towers where you work.
Yeah, that's true.
You're yes manning. You're right now. You've become.
I don't have anything
if
to
we
add
were
to
on a
that.
rap show, like if this was like a hip hop concert, you'd be the guy in the background with the microphone. This is
No, I mean, but no, that's true. So
What's
maybe
up?
in your certain area, those bigger companies, maybe they don't have the towers in there that get you the best service. Maybe it's a smaller
Maybe
company.
you need Paul's
You
cell
just-
service.
yeah,
and you
just
only
make
use it for
sure-
work.
Make sure you
Right?
use something that's best for your area.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous.
I don't know.
You want to jump to number 3?
Yeah, I think because we're done with that. So,
Okay,
because there's some more important stuff happening after the. All
Yeah.
right, because they're getting more important as we go. So, number 3 is paper is free. Oh, I love this one. I'm so excited. Can you start? Can you grab? Oh, I bonked my mic here.
Yeah, paper is free. So it is not actually free. There is a cost of using paper between the the actual appointment books, the cards.
Let's run down the cost of the actual appointment book since we're talking about it. So the appointment book, we looked up on Staples before starting the show. It costs you almost $30 a year to create one of those, and that's if you've kept it well. Your index cards could be about $2.60 a go, and you're probably going to buy a whole bunch of those. I believe we estimated like 5 packs of those. And your Sharpies, which these multicolored Sharpies, hang on a second, family. All right, there we go. I've seen these in grooming salons. You guys like to get really colorful on your calendars because it means a lot of different stuff to you. So a standard pack of Sharpies, fine tip, assorted colors is going to run you almost $12. So what this turns into is your appointment book is actually costing you $2.38 a month. Those cards are costing you somewhere around about $8 a year. I broke this down as like 83 cents a month, something like that. And your Sharpies are going to end up costing you about $3 a month. So your total basic supply costs are actually $6.21, right?
per month.
Per month. Now,
But
because we want to
what-
break this down because everyone says I don't want to pay monthly, but you are
Yeah.
paying monthly whether you break it down that way or not.
Yep, but the biggest part that people forget is the time. So the time it takes
Right.
to send appointment reminders to, charge clients, like everything like that, you're adding up time, and that's where it gets most expensive.
Well, how long does it take you to write stuff? I know my fingers start slowing down after I write them. That's because in the age of computers, I mean, we don't write as much, so your hands, they tire out. So as you're writing, you're at least as I'm writing, my hand slows down. So how long does it take you to write those notes?
Writing, like you could look into going through your cards to find the client's card.
Right. So the time to take to find the card,
Yep, to go through everything, to then file it back.
File it back in the right
hoping
spot.
that it was filed in the right place the first time.
right? So let's have a look at this. So if the average pet pro, we're gonna just summarize to $60 an hour, which turns down to about $1 a minute. If you spend in 1 month, you spend 1 hour doing extra work with paper,
Which
you've
is
actually
reasonable.
you've actually lost yourself $60 plus your what was it, $6.21. So $66.21 was spent in the free paper.
Using free.
I'm just gonna pause again. I'm gonna I don't know where my Cricut button is.
There you go.
Hey, I found it the first go. So we're going to pause and throw some crickets on that. The problem here is that you can't forget the time wastage. You could easily spend an hour a month just making reminder phone calls, and it's a complete waste of your time because number one, most people don't answer the phone anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going to leave them a voicemail, and if they're like me, they don't check their voicemail very much either, unless it says somebody that I know. Like if it has someone's name on the caller ID in the voicemail, I don't even bother listening to it.
Yeah.
So you've not only have you spent the time, but you've also then wasted that time. And in a lot of cases, I mean, if you're sending text messages now, I mean, I don't want to get back to that again, but the two thumb thing to try to type out a text message to the 7 or 8 clients you have, I mean, let's figure that out.
Upcoming day.
So if it took you 2 minutes, I mean, it's easy math. If it took you 2 minutes to type out a text message to one client, you have 7 the next day. I mean, you're talking 14
minutes. Yeah.
minutes of time. That's $14 in one day that you wasted by not having software that would send that out for you automatically.
You don't even have to think about it. Just the appointment scheduled, and they already get it.
Yeah,
So.
and in good software, you're going to have that. It's going to be customized. It's going to have your clients' names. It's going to have the information about the customer and the pet and all that. It's going to be in there.
You'll be able to look up the grooming notes with literally a click of a button instead of filing through the cards, pulling the card, writing down updated notes, filing it back. I mean, even just talking about it, it's long.
Yes, it is long
doing
for me
it.
right now. I need a snooze button. I'm gonna reprogram one of
First
these
I
to
didn't
have a
talk
snooze
enough,
on
and
it.
then now I'm talking too much.
Oh my lord, you can't win here.
So
You're paper. I'm software.
thanks. If your competition is using software, they are better than you at all of that.
What? What are you saying?
The comment. If your competition is using a software, they are better than you at all of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does. You kind of jump. You jump past them. So the other people that's a great comment. Thank you. We can't see your name on this end, but thank you for that. They can't keep up. It's literally like, like they're on a bicycle racing you in a car or something. I mean,
okay, yeah.
You guys that are more efficient using software, I mean, you just jump so far ahead, and it's a shame because there's been certain groups out there that have been like kind of self-justifying or I don't know what the phrase
use
is.
of paper.
Yeah, they're like where one person enables the other. It's like
Yeah.
enabling each other to continue using
Absolutely.
paper because they're like the last standouts that don't want to use software. But the problem is that hurts everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if
it's
you
not helping
do
anyone.
use software, you have more time to actually like grow that client interaction and grow the relationship with the client.
Right. So instead of 14 minutes texting reminders to people, you could have spent 14 minutes over
Having
the day.
an actual conversation with
Right.
your client when they come
Talking to
in
them.
to build that relationship, or spending a few more minutes on the dog itself. I mean, you can put that time back into your business and make it better for your business.
And that flows right into, excuse me, number 2, writing in appointments and notes is quicker and easier.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Hey, Christy. Okay, perfect. Exactly. So more room for error when using paper. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And it turns into, we're going to get to, I can't wait to show this last picture I have. Okay, that's actually number 2. I'm
Yes.
I have a good example for you
Yes.
guys of what this can look like.
So writing an appointments notes is quicker and easier.
So I'm going to go for the people on paper with this. Yes, they are right, no question. It's not quicker.
But
Excuse
it
me.
is
Why
easier
does
to
my
just
voice-
scribble something down.
Every time we get on the mic, my voice always goes. I'm not even sick. Like,
And then as soon as this is over, it's done.
it's
Like,
back to
he doesn't
normal.
have-
It's like this happens to me when I go to the dentist too. I think I'm nervous. I think that's what happens to me.
But
All right, so number 2.
scribbling it down, yes, it is.
It's quicker.
Yes, but I mean, there's no structure at all, and that's why it's quicker.
And the biggest thing, since I've dealt with multiple stores and teams of management and teams of staff and stuff like that, training new people on your wacky organizational scheme is extremely difficult for them. I mean, they won't learn it. They'll get tired of asking questions, and they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I get it," and they don't get it, and they'll be all over the place after that. So,
Or trying to decipher other people's handwriting.
oh my goodness,
That's
That's
when
the
I
worst.
worked in a salon that was on paper, that was
and there's all
difficult.
the abbreviations and stuff that
Yes,
like,
what the heck
I've
is
been
this?
looking at this for a long time, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, and even I still don't understand half the abbreviations that you're creating for things. So, a new employee that's either new to the industry or just new to the industry or just getting into your business is trying to learn your jargon, and it's really difficult for them.
Yeah, so there's no organization. There's no setting a standard in there. You might have some people that write down all the information about the clients, and then some people that write down just 1 or 2 things in there, and then you pull a client file, and you're like, what the heck? There's
And you
a
go
whole
back
bunch of
to the
stuff
appointment
missing.
calendar, and you see this.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave this up there for people for a while we're talking about this.
Yes. And I've actually seen books that look just like this.
Yeah, so this is what your opportunity is for a paper book. I mean, is this easier? I mean, yes, you can grab a pen, a marker, a pencil, and just start scribbling all over the place. You can do that, which is what happened here on this book. The problem is that you can't use this for anything. This is not going to be actionable, is what the word is. So these historic records, they're so messy that you can't do anything with it. So the point is, yes, this was technically quicker because all you had to do was write. Give me one of the abbreviations that they use. B and F and F.
Face,
Face,
fanny.
fanny. So if you just scribble FFF in the corner of this here, someone might not even read that. They might think
miss
you had
it.
like Tourette's of the fingers.
Write the same letter over and over.
It was just a mistake that you made on the corner where you're trying to get your pen to work, so you just
Yeah.
kept making these lines. They
Yes,
have no idea
that's
what this
true.
is, so it's unclear, and it makes it difficult for people.
If your
to use.
appointment book looks like this, I guarantee you there is a more streamlined and easier way, and it's with software.
Absolutely, and we're not just saying with our software. I'm saying
With
any
software,
good software. I mean, it has to be decent.
Yes.
Obviously choose one that's good. But if they, can't get on the same level that we're talking about now, then I don't think that's
Yeah.
the right one for you.
Well,
All right, and so this next one
Yeah. So,
is leveraging.
yes. Yep.
Go.
Leveraging software may actually reduce the number of reschedules and cancellations because clients have active confirmations and reminders coming through to them automatically through your software.
Right. So if you're really tired one day or you're sick one day or something, and you're using paper and you're about to start sending your 14 minutes of text messages that day, you might not do it. You might forget to do it, and they might not get their stuff, and that could lead to more reschedules or missed appointments. I mean, and
Absolutely.
it's,
Yeah.
all kinds of different nastiness.
Yeah.
So let's keep it moving. Next one, software crashes. So this is the number one argument
Yep.
for people that want to really gain they want to get this coalition of paper users to grow. They say that software crashes and loses information. They would be right. They are right.
Our
It depends.
response to that, use a better software.
Yeah, the response is just use a better software. I mean, does that happen? Absolutely, yes. We talked about it. Was it last week or
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, we talked about downtime, and we talked about the ridiculous stories that these companies tell you guys in order to keep you pacified. I think would be a good word.
That would be a good word. Yeah.
There's a lot of companies, it seems, are getting on this bandwagon of blaming it on everybody else. So do those softwares.
AWS being the number one.
AWS is down. Someone hacked
They're
us.
not.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you go offline, just own it. That's fine. But which does happen. So software, does it crash? Yes. Does it lose information? It should not.
should not,
No.
yeah.
If a software in modern day, a web
If a web application.
which is all the software you're talking about. I don't care whether they're on an app or on in the internet. It's a web application. If a web application today loses your information, run as fast as you can away from that.
Very much true.
Because there is absolutely no reason on the earth that I can think of that a well-developed software platform should lose information, barring a catastrophic server collapse.
Yeah, so downtime and losing of information, they are not always connected. Sometimes they can be, depending, like you said, catastrophic server collapse. But if you have downtime, there's no like guaranteed loss of information. So I do
so let's hit that real quick because we do get a lot of people that watch us after the fact.
Yeah.
So they're
they run independently.
Yeah, these are two different. Well, it depends. Again, if you're on a better software system, then they do. But if you're not, and which is a lot of the clientele out, a lot of our market peers, the other software companies are not necessarily doing it the right way, and they do have the two your code and your database, which is your information, all stuck on the same system. If one is dead, then they're all dead. I don't want to get too detailed about the technical aspects of it, but the problem is the stuff that's in your database, which is where your information is stored, regardless of whether it's on a different server or the same server, that is there. It's written in stone. I mean, it's there. Unless that server's hard drive, which they don't really run this way anymore. Again, it depends. But let's reel it back 10 years and say it was on an actual disk hard drive. If that thing was like burnt up or exploded or dropped off a cliff or something, if it was physically destroyed or somebody took a big electromagnet to it, decided to break
then
it,
your information,
then your data's gone.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that the database will get corrupted in the last 20 years. I don't see that happening.
Modern technology, yeah.
It just doesn't. So a system crash is different from data loss.
Yeah.
And data loss shouldn't be happening. It just shouldn't. But we see that. Let's Go Software is notorious for it.
Yeah. Now, a poorly structured database, I mean, you could have information getting like crisscrossed or going missing and things like that.
But that's, again, going to be on the software layer of things. That's the actual code. And if poorly written code could do that. It could pull client records, which we also have seen from Let's Go. Complaints coming in from that software. You're pulling the wrong client information. You're sending appointment reminders to the wrong people, all that kind of stuff that can happen. So this all goes back to just use a better software. Just if you've ever heard that a software company is losing data, I mean, that's the number one thing I would say. Even being offline is not as bad as losing data.
Losing data is the worst.
If
you're offline, you can still get back online, but if you're losing data, I mean that's it.
But it shows gross negligence. There's no question about it. That shows negligence from at a core level from the company that you're working with.
Yeah.
That's like saying some of our groomers, they only cut the dogs every so often.
Yeah, exactly.
I only slice off
No.
an ear tip once or twice a month. It's not a big deal.
It happens. We understand that. But if it's like a common thing, like obviously that's not acceptable. You need to do better. Same thing with software. It's not acceptable to lose information. You need to do better. You're holding a business's information.
But you just said that it's okay. It happens every so often. Data loss does not happen.
No, data loss. No, that's what I'm saying.
Period.
It's not with data loss. Like with
downtime.
With cutting a dog. I mean, it does happen rarely.
Are you slicing up dogs?
No,
over here?
but it does happen.
Oh my Lord! All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the bonus. I don't even want to hear the next story.
It does happen.
Bonus number one.
I understand.
Bonus number one. Let's move on. Bonus number one. The hybrid system is probably the worst idea that I've ever heard of. So it's the most inefficient and costly way to run your business. And has increased payroll. And so the hybrid system will be the people that decide to use both software and paper side by side. And usually what they'll do is I've heard of them giving a clip card to the groomers out in their stations, writing on it, and then bringing it back to reception, who then records it into the system.
Yeah, it's double entry.
Seems, and which double entry is extremely error prone, as Christy had mentioned earlier here. The time wastage is unparalleled. So your software should allow your employees to have their own users, and you should not have to pay for them. So again, if you have a software that you're using or you're looking at, and they're charging per user, run away. I'm telling you now from a core developer's perspective, founder of Poffinity, that there is no reason for us to charge you for those extra users. It costs us literally $0.
It's just an outdated pricing model.
Yeah, it is. But it's it's a way of nickel and diming and price gouging people, and it's unfair practice. And so we obviously don't do that here. But when you allow employees to all have their own profiles, you gain security capabilities, you limit the exposure, you gain audit trail.
I mean, accountability. Yeah, you
yeah,
can hold
for sure.
employees accountable.
Yeah, and so with that, you gain a lot of things, but also, you let them log in and make their own notes. You give them a tablet. If you don't want to spend money on a tablet, that's fine.
Use
Open
their
up their phone.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work on the phone, use a new software. If you can only sign into
That's
one
true.
tablet at a time because they're afraid it's going to, some of the companies, I'm just going to say it outright. Some of the companies I think are afraid that too many people on their software will make it crash or slow.
Which there are a few out there that, yes.
Yes. I mean, but if you're using a software where they want to limit the number of devices you can be logged into, run away. I mean, they're obviously hiding
There should
something.
be no reason for that, especially cloud software. Like there literally should be no reason for it.
Well, that's a test drive. When you're buying like a used car, a test drive, and the salesman doesn't want you to hit the gas like all the way. Or if you press the brakes all the way, he's not sure those brake lines are going to hold. You hit the gas and, oil's going to start spraying out of one thing, coolant's going to start spraying out of the other. They just want you to go nice and easy. Yeah. So if you have a software that you're using where the company wants you to go nice and easy on it, you should probably be worried about what happens when you go full throttle. I use a lot of car analogies. I'm hoping you guys can kind of look past that and see what I'm trying to say. But
that's true.
But that's true. So the hybrid system is broken. Either commit, and I'm going to say this honestly, either commit completely to paper or move completely to software. Don't go anywhere in between.
Yeah, because you're wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, that double entry makes no sense.
Yep.
And then bonus 2.
Retirement in the pet industry can happen, but you need to plan for it. And sticking to paper does not help you retire in a good manner. Just flat out.
Our title didn't hold on these on this podcast. None of the content held either.
Oh, yeah, look at that. But yeah, I mean, it's so much easier if you are trying to retire and you have a software. You can pull those records. You can pull the history of your sales, history of your transactions, look at profit and loss year to year, compare it, and that's a lot easier of a package to present to people versus paper where you're pulling, okay, and we have these files here and these files here, and here's my appointment book, and like trying to gather all of that information.
Hey, person that's going to buy my business.
This is what I did
This
last
is what
year.
I did last week. These were my appointments. It doesn't look very good, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. And even if you're not going to sell, which I don't recommend selling the business. I mean, we just had a client come through a new sign up. They're new to the industry, and they paid $100,000 for a grooming business. $100,000 for the grooming business. Now think about that, guys. If you made $50,000 a year, how long before you have to go back to work again?
Exactly.
So you get 2 years off, and now you have no income coming in from your business. And I don't recommend that. Instead, I recommend you leverage software. You get management in place. You slowly slide yourself out of the business and start just working with the pets and clients that you want to, the VIP list, if you will, the easy, the good ones, the people you like, and then let your managers handle everything else. So you start moving yourself out with well-structured business and well-thought-through processes. Start sliding yourself back to the point where you're working 1 day or less.
Yeah, or then, if you don't even want to work grooming anymore, you can just make sure that everything is running from your software from afar. You don't even have to be in the salon to do it anymore.
Right, and you can check. So, I mean, from which we have done from Jamaica, check the business and see how it's doing. Yes. We're doing okay, and so software helps you get there. So paper will never do that. There's absolutely no argument that anyone can come back with on paper that will help them slide back into retirement, because you cannot sell that business. I mean, the total sale was like $550,000 for that business, and but $450,000 of it was the property, which and $100,000 for the business, and that's just, to me, I mean, you can't. And once you look at those numbers, you can't get out. You can't, because you lose that income.
Absolutely.
So instead,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at something like this, I mean, as a buyer, I'm not going to give you top dollar.
No.
I mean, I'm not going to trust everything that's in it. I'm just going to be honest.
For sure. No, I mean, you end up, you're going to lose a percentage of the total value of the business just because it looks like it's disorganized.
Yes.
So, but when and again, I don't really recommend selling most of these businesses. You're never going to get out of that what you need to be able to retire.
Just back out and then manage it from afar.
Right. So if you were paying yourself, let's just say you were paying yourself, since we were using 50, you were paying yourself $50,000. You might start to slow it down, slide some of your income off to your managers, help them grow the business, and now maybe you're paying yourself, let's just say $20,000
but you retain that asset
for not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then they start growing the business a little more. You start sliding your scale up, 30,000, 40,000. You get back to the 50,000 you were paying yourself before you retired. The business is still running. And as Lauren had mentioned, you still own the business. So you still have that asset that you could sell in the future. And everything's good. I mean, now you have a residual income coming in. You're chilling on the beach in Jamaica,
Yes,
checking out your
exactly.
stuff. So use the software, leverage it. I mean, you could argue for paper all day long. I can't see that. I can't see that argument. It just doesn't track. I mean, you're spending on these really, really gentle numbers, really conservative, $66 a month in paper.
Which is more than.
I mean, Puffinity costs $50 a month
Yeah.
plus text messages. So I mean, let's just say it's even. So you spend the same amount using your paper between your time and the supplies as you would on Puffinity with text messaging if you're sending a lot of volume of text.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're doing more work
Yeah.
with the paper. So I
lot
don't,
more
for me, it's a no-brainer. I think, let's move it
Just
over.
have more of an opportunity to grow as well at a faster rate with
Can't
software
nobody
as well.
hold me down.
I mean, just
Oh,
as
no.
Christy had mentioned, it allows you to grow
Yeah.
kind of exponentially without having to put in that extra work if you were using paper. So
Yeah, and you get new employee Susie come in and she's like, "What is this?" I would show it again, but everybody's seen it already.
yeah,
Like she doesn't know.
and you have to take the time and train her how to use it, or you just let her use the
The
software.
green,
which is
the green means
simple-
this. The red means this. The yellow means this.
Exactly. It's
The
just
blue is, whoa, where's my legend? Oh, you're just supposed to remember this stuff. Oh, my Lord. I can't even remember. I have, what is this, 2 times 4. So I have 8 buttons on my little device. I can't remember which ones do what. They're all
go
just
for
colors.
crickets and you get sparkles.
Sparkles. Magic. All right. I think we're done. We've run this thing into the ground.
Well, thanks for joining us this week.
All right, guys. So we'll see you again next week on Monday around 10 o'clock Eastern, UTC -4 until the daylight savings changes. Then it'll be UTC -5 for anybody that's over on the other side of the globe. And we'll catch you that time or next time. Yep. All right, get back to work.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot my sound. Hang on. Thank you, Christy.